it away.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you all for taking some time out of your busy days to come learn about Avalon Waterways and the Globus family of brands. Lisa and Travel House picked out a really great itinerary for you all, and I'm really excited to be able to share this information with you and go over any questions you might have, set your mind at ease to know that you've picked a perfect opportunity to go on a river cruise with Avalon Waterways. So before we get started, I just kind of want to give you a little bit of a background on who you're traveling with. I think it's really important to know. Has anybody here ever traveled with the Globus family of brands? Wonderful. All right, so Globus, Cosmos, Monograms, or Avalon. Wonderful. Well, thank you for your business, and we hope to have you travel with us again in the near future. So with Avalon Waterways, we pair with travel agent partners all the time, and you're always looking for that superhero to take care of you and make sure that your hand's held basically from start to finish sometimes, because traveling can be a little bit scary, especially if you're going to a destination where you haven't been there before, you don't know language, there's different currency, you got to worry about your passports, this, that, and the other thing. Well, your superhero, whether it be Superman or Superwoman, is definitely in Travel House. You're in really great hands. We've been great partners with this agency for a long period of time, and we really are honored to work closely with them. And you know that they're reputable, they're storefront, and they have everything that you could possibly need from start to finish with your travel plans. Now, Globus, we've been around for a little bit. We had a huge milestone last year. We had our 90th anniversary, and I'm happy to say I didn't start 90 years ago with them, but I'm really glad to be a part of that company now. We started out back in 1928 with one guy going back and forth across Lake Lugano in Switzerland, and it's grown over the years to 4 different brands. So we have our Globus, we have our Cosmos, our Monograms, and Avalon. So we have these 4 different brands under that big umbrella with this 4th generation family-owned company. So it's a really fantastic thing to have one company that's been around for 90 years. And you don't get around that long unless you're reputable, you take care of your people, you're knowledgeable, you have the connections, and you have a superior product. We have over 503 vacations in 77 countries. So for some reason, Lisa and I have not convinced you by the end of this presentation to come to on the trip with us, I guarantee you there's probably somewhere else within the brands that you're going to be able to find that you'll enjoy. So we do all 7 continents now. We have river cruises. We have independent touring, which is called Monograms. So if you don't like the idea of being on a motor coach with a group, you can do more independent travel with our Monograms product. It gives you a half day of VIP access touring. It also allows you to have a little bit more freedom. Our Globus product is fantastic because the Globus product is your escorted first class touring. So it holds your hand from start to finish, and you have that VIP access into all of your destinations. Our Cosmos product we introduced a little bit after the Globus, and that's more of our budget-friendly type of touring with motor coach touring as well. And then today we're going to be talking a lot about Avalon Waterways, so hopefully we'll entice you to come. Has anyone ever been on a river cruise before? All right, cool. Has anyone ever been on Avalon Waterways river cruising? Okay. Well, hopefully we will, again, convince you to see why we're superior than the other products out there. Now, we don't like to toot our horn too much, but I think it's really important to let you know, again, some of the accolades and awards that we've received over the years. And with having all these accolades and awards, you know that you're, again, with that reputable company, and that's one of the reasons why Travel House has chosen us to work with. When you travel with Avalon Waterways, it's all about the view. We have beautiful wide open spaces all throughout, and I want to share a little quick video with you just to give you a little bit more of an idea of why the view is so important when it comes to river cruising.
Remember when things went on around you that you really wanted to see, but you just couldn't? Something was always making it difficult for you to get the best view. Well, apparently most river cruise lines still think it's okay to do because their beds face a wall. At Avalon, we designed our rooms so our beds face the window, giving you the best views in all of river cruising. Better views, bigger rooms, fewer people on board. That's the difference between river cruising and Avalon river cruising.
So the view is kind of important. You don't want to have this obstructive view of, you know, in this picture, of course, it's candy, but with us, if you're traveling and you're not facing the view, you might be facing your television set in your room, or you might be facing a picture on the wall. Having Avalon Waterways and having that picturesque panorama suite view is the whole reason why you want to go. Can you imagine being able to open up this floor-to-ceiling, wall-to-wall window, a full 7 feet opening? When you're looking at the competition, they'll have a little less than 4 foot opening there. So essentially, your room becomes your balcony. So we don't have balconies on board, which creates a larger room space for you. You're laying in that bed, you're watching the ever-changing view as it goes by. Does anybody know what this is a picture of?
Locks.
The locks, yes. So they're going to go through many locks with this. It's actually a fun and exciting thing the first time you see it. If you've never been, you can see the water levels change. You can see them working the docks area there. And what's amazing is look how close the ship is to the walls there. So I remember the first time I was going through a lock, it was at night. And I left my slider open just a little bit so it would wake me up in the middle of the night so I could see and hear the locks. And as soon as we started going through them, I woke up, I opened up my curtain, and I looked out, and the wall was basically right there. So the reason why I emphasize that, and I show you this, is because I want you to understand that all the ships need to be the same size to be able to fit through those locks. So if we were to put a balcony on the ships, where would that space come from? From your rooms, exactly. You're spending not a whole lot of time in your rooms. Hopefully you're out and enjoying the open air areas. But there are times you're going to want to really just relax in your room and be able to enjoy that beautiful view. Can you imagine waking up with a continental breakfast in your room, being able to open up those curtains, looking out and seeing the river and seeing all the beautiful scenery going by? And you're able to relax and enjoy. That's what's fantastic about Avalon Waterways compared to the competition. For 4 years in a row now, Cruise Critics, which is an editorial magazine within the travel industry, has named us best cabins in river cruising. 4 years in a row, that's pretty impressive. So we're pretty proud about that accolade. And these are for our panorama suites. So again, you can just sit back, relax, and enjoy the view as it goes by. Now, when you're river cruising, as opposed to deep sea cruising, it's really calm. You're going just a little bit faster than the ducks and the swans, so you won't feel that rocking, you won't get those sea legs, and you won't be uncomfortable. You're going to really be able to enjoy yourself. I can remember the first time I took a river cruise, we were actually leaving from Amsterdam, and I was talking to my friend. I said, I wonder what time we're going to leave. I see all the other ships are leaving, and I see the ship next to us just left. She's like, that's us moving. I was like, wait a minute, that was us? So I couldn't feel the ship moving as we first started pulling away from the dock. So that just shows you how comfortable and how easy it's going to be for you. When we talked about the size of the ships, they do matter, and having the size of people, the number of people on board also matters. So when you look at Avalon Waterways compared to what we call a long ship versus ours, which are suite ships, we have 80% of our rooms are going to be those beautiful panorama suites. So what that does, it enables your rooms to be larger, 30% larger than the industry standard. And with that, you have less people on board. When you have less people on board, it makes it a really nice experience. You can move around a little bit more, you have more space, you don't have to worry about getting a seat when you're watching entertainment. The guest to staff ratio is fantastic, and it's just a really wonderful experience for all. We have continental breakfast complimentary in your room if you'd like to do that, or we have an early risers or late risers breakfast. In the bathrooms, we have beautiful marble sink vanities there. We use the L'Occitane bath amenities. And you actually feel like you're in a 5-star resort instead of in a cabin bathroom on a ship. Other amenities we have Egyptian cotton sheets. We have 3 different types of cushioning for your bed, so you can choose your comfort bed. We also have for you bottles of water in your room that are complimentary Wi-Fi all throughout the ship. When you go out on your tours, we also supply you with water and some really fantastic amenities that are there for you. Now, besides the amenities in the ship itself, what else is really important? The food, of course, always the food and the drinks, for sure. But these people are really important. These are our crew. We have an international crew, all English speaking. Everyone on the tour with you will be from an English speaking country. So you might have some Aussies on board, you might have some people from the UK, but it makes it a really nice experience because there's not going to be that awkwardness if you're with another person or another couple or you're trying to have a conversation. So you'll be able to meet some people internationally, but you'll also have English speaking crew on board as well as other passengers. I mentioned about having nice open spaces, and all throughout our ships, we do have the beautiful wide open spaces with less people on board. When you come up to this area that we call the Panorama Lounge, this is where you're going to have what we call a port talk each evening. We're going to be able to find out what's going on in your next day's events that are happening. You'll also be up here for the entertainment in the evening. So there's going to be no need to rush up because there's plenty of seating for everybody to enjoy and spread out. Every single day we have a happy hour available, so we do have half-price drinks for mixed drinks. With your meals, you have complimentary sparkling wine with breakfast, so you can make yourself some mimosas if you'd like. For lunch and dinner, we have free-flowing beer and wine. And when I mean free-flowing, it's free-flowing. There's times I've had to tell them to cut me off because they just love to fill it up and make sure that you're comfortable, you're happy. And what's really beautiful about that wine and the beer is it changes as you go along the river. So when you're changing countries, we change the beer and the wine to go with that country. Something else that started this past year that we feel is really beneficial and puts us above the competition is we create something called flex dining. This allows you on the ship to be able to eat whatever time you'd like. You can eat from anywhere from 7 p.m. to 8:30 at night for your a la carte dining in the dining room. We do have a late night bites at 10:30, so if you won't get hungry again, you can have a little something else to eat from the ship. We offer to you the ability to have some tapas types of plates, so some smaller plates in the Panorama Lounge. That's also going to be right around the dinner time. So typically in the past, people will go up to the port talk and then everybody would go down to eat at the same time. Now you can eat whenever you want, with whomever you want. You've always been able to eat with whomever you want. But we have a lot of tables of 2s and 4s, but we can accommodate some groups as well. But people are really enjoying this flex dining. And you do have some times when you're docked overnight in a destination, like when you're in Brussels, you're docked there overnight. Wouldn't it be great to just be able to go out, enjoy, come back on the ship by 8:30, and then you're gonna have your dinner and save yourself purchasing a meal outside the ship. These are what our dining room looks like. It's beautiful, well appointed. We have menu items on there that are going to be to the region, but we also will have some Western options. So if you're not as adventurous or you don't want to try something that you're not used to, we do have things that are going to be very much to the palate of an American palate. We have readers there, so if it's a little dark, you can't see. I've had it myself one time where I'm able to pick them up when we do that. As you can see, there's tons of spots for 2s and 4s as well as for some groups. And the other thing I love about our dining room, you can see completely through. So if we're going through a fantastic area where you're going to want to be able to see the sights on both sides of the ship, you're easily able to do that because we don't have a wall in the middle of the ship. A couple of years ago, we paired with some guys called the Rank Brothers. And these gentlemen were up-and-coming restaurateurs from Vienna, and they are fantastic. They've done a lot of really fresh farm-to-table meals, so things to keep you very healthy if you'd like, some things to make you a little naughty if you'd like, but really incredibly fresh food. And what you'll see a lot of times is you'll see the chefs and the crew actually leaving the ship and going out in port and purchasing some of the items. And we can really cater towards anybody who has a dietary need. So if you're lactose intolerant, gluten-free, vegan, vegetarian, we can really accommodate people very easily, and it is delicious. I was on a cruise one time with 2 younger ladies who were both vegan. And to me, that's almost one of the most difficult types of food allergies or food restrictions to be able to accommodate, because there's no animal byproducts and no animals. So you have to be really careful with what you're serving. The chef sat down with them, made sure they felt comfortable, gave them options, and even went shopping for their specific wants and needs when we went out on the next day. So here's just a few of the examples of the delicious looking food. And of course, as I mentioned, we have that complimentary beer and wine available for you, and champagne with breakfast. You also have sparkling wine. So when you were talking about the wine, we have always at least 3 or 4 different types of wine. So we always are going to have a white, we're always going to have a red, we'll always have a rosé. And many times we'll have 2 and 3 of those options for you to choose from. So you'll have 2 or 3 whites, 2 or 3 reds, etc. So you're never going to go thirsty here. A couple times a week, weather pending, we will do breakfast, a lunch up on our sky decks. We have a beautiful barbecue up there. Can you imagine as you're sailing along and just being able to see out the view? It's great to have that al fresco dining, a really nice option. You can be uncovered, getting a little sun, or we have plenty of seating outside underneath the shade. In the front of the ship, we have for lunch and dinner the panorama bistro. So this is, again, the smaller plates, the tapa type of plates. If you want something quick, we also will do a little buffet up there as well, and you can grab something quickly. That way, if you have the afternoon free and you want to get back off the ship, you can do that very easily and get something quick. We also have available for you a picnic. So if you wanted to take a box lunch out and grab one of the bikes that we have on board, you can go and take the bike off or go for a walk, and you can do a little picnic somewhere along the way. We even have blankets if you wanted to take a blanket with you. In the back of the ship, we have a beautiful lounge here, which is air conditioned, it's climate controlled, and this is one of our favorite spots on the ship. So besides my stateroom, this is where you'll usually be finding me. The reason why is we have this area open 24/7. There's always snacks there. There is a cappuccino, frappuccino, you name it, kind of caffeine drink machine that can make anything for you, even hot chocolate and tea. And so this is a spot where people come, they congregate. There's a beautiful flat screen TV back there. You can pop a channel on the TV so you can see what's coming up in front of you on the ship as you're passing by the river. There's also a library there. We have games. So people tend to congregate in this area. And what's nice is that when you're looking at the rest of the lines of ships, this is either a cabin or it's the captain's table. So it's not typically available 24/7 for all guests. And for you, you get to take advantage of that and grab something to eat or drink 24/7. We include wonderful sightseeing. We have 3 different types of sightseeing, which I'll chat with you about in a little bit. But what's really important that I love to emphasize when we're talking about our sightseeing is there's that VIP access. I was just in Rome last week, and I partook in one of our tours. And I gotta tell you, it was an amazing and smart and wonderful thing that I did. Because when we went to go to the Colosseum and we went to the Vatican, we saw these really long lines. And all of a sudden, myself and my little group that was with me, we were all bypassing that really long line and zipping into the VIP access. So that alone, and having that VIP access for your Avalon waterways, is going to save you time, money. It's going to be able to give you the optimal amount of time to enjoy those amazing sightseeing that are out there. So speaking of sightseeing, we have 3 different choices for you, and it's your vacation, so it's your choice. In some of the ports, you're going to only have one option, and typically that's a classic option. But there will be times where you have the ability to try either our discovery options or our active options. And let me describe what those differences are. So your classic tours that are included are going to be those iconic must-see sites. So these are going to be history and heritage. These might be walking tours. These might be going into castles or into churches or into someone's home to see how they live. And these are some really great experiences there, and these are our iconic sites. Our discovery options are going to be a little bit more interactive. And these are going to be like painting classes, cooking classes, and things where you're more immersed in the culture in an interactive way. Then finally, we have our active options. So on board, we have what we call our adventure host. And so if there's any of you out there that are runners, I'm not an avid runner, but my sister is, and she loves to get up every morning and go run 6 miles. I think she's nuts, but she does. So we do have an adventure host on board, so if one morning you want to get up before everybody else goes out on the regular tour, you could go out and go for a hike with them, you could go for a run with them. So those are some normal options. Other active options are things like bike tours, kayaking tours, things along those lines. So you can have some options that are going to be more interactive in an active way. Now you can go at your pace, you can go however you like. A lot of the active tours are not going to be like those crazy things. You're not going to be out there running or anything like that. We also have something to make your vacation stay more optimal for those of you who are techie people. Maybe we are, maybe we aren't. But we have something available. It's an app that's completely complimentary. It's called the Avalon Go app. And with this Go app, you can download this before you travel, about 2 weeks before you go. If you want to see your itinerary on electronic form, it's there. If you want to use the currency converter, if you want to see how much it is from euros to dollars or whatever type of currency that you're looking at, we have that available on the app. There's also a travel guide. There's recommendations for dining, shopping, and entertainment. We have a map on there. There is a navigation system that works, and it all works offline. So when you're on the ship, you have Wi-Fi. It's complimentary. It works pretty well. There might be some areas along the river where it might be a little spotty, but what you do is you look to see where all of the crew are going with their devices, and then you're going to find the best hotspot area there. But it is great, and this again, it works offline. So if you wanted to share on social media, you wanted to fuel your free time with the navigation system, it all works offline. Your documentation's on here, you'll get alerts on here, so it's a really great opportunity. If you don't want to do it, leave it behind, unplug completely. We do have itineraries that are paper itineraries on board. They leave inside your stateroom every single evening. I mentioned the adventure host that's there. They're the people that, again, can go and do yoga with you in the morning on top of the sky deck. They can stretch with you. They have the running, biking available. But they're also the people that are in control of the Adventure Center. And the Adventure Center is a really cool thing that we've started a couple of years ago. This is an area in the ship where you can go and you can borrow things like walking sticks. We have Nordic walking sticks. We have binoculars. If you would like to count your steps of the day, you can borrow a Fitbit, and you can see how many steps you get in. We also have stretch bands, picnic blankets are here, the mats for biking, and all kinds of cool stuff. So that's our Adventure Center. On the ship, we have a minimum of 10 bikes on every single ship. They're on a first come, first served basis, so if you like to bike, you can take one out one afternoon, one morning, go for a bike. Just make sure that you're back on board, otherwise you're biking to the next port and meeting up with us. But they'll give you maps and they'll tell you what time to leave, what time to get back on board. And these are the bikes that are always on the ship. So these are above and beyond any type of bike tour that we might offer as a touring option. So say there is a bike tour that goes off and 30 people go off on their bikes. You don't want to go with them. You want to take your own bike and go off, you can do that. It's really, really great. I would not necessarily recommend biking in the city of Amsterdam. It's a little crazy. There's 1 million people in Amsterdam. There's like 2 million bikes. It's insane. So watch your step, watch where you're walking, but we do have in the countryside some beautiful areas you can take the bikes. So we are part of the Globus family of brands, and the reason why I point this out when I'm talking about Avalon Waterways is because we have that backing of a really great company. And when you're going with Avalon Waterways, if for some reason we have like a little bit low waters, high water situations, we can move you along with the motor coach, get you to the next port, to the next destination. You never have to worry about any issues of having a seamless vacation. So let's talk about the ship for a little bit. You've got a beautiful ship. You're going to be on the imagery. This is a gorgeous new ship. It's only 3 years old. It was built in 2016. Has great amenities on board. When you come into the ship, we have a beautiful concierge area there where the cruise director is going to be as well. And we talked about most of the amenities here. You do have a beautiful flat screen on your in your room, so if you want to watch TV, we have several channels for you to choose from, some movie channels, and or if you just want to relax, you don't want to turn the TV on, but you want that effect of having a fireplace in your room, we have 4 different fireplace settings that you can choose from to make it nice and warm and relaxing feeling in your room. With the configuration of the rooms and the decks, we have 3 different decks basically on board. The top is your sky deck. This is where you're going to find a jacuzzi. We also have chaise lounges up here. We have a walking track up there. There's some chessboard games that you can play, and plenty of places to spread out and relax. And then on our next deck level here, this is where you're going to find our Royal Suites, which are our largest rooms, as well as some of our panorama suites. Then we have another row of panorama suites only, and then on the bottom deck is where some of the crew is, as well as our lead-in room categories, which are our deluxe staterooms. So let's talk about the configuration and what these room categories look like, so you can decide what's going to be the best fit for you. So our lead-in staterooms are the biggest in the industry. They're 172 square feet.
They're the largest in the industry, as I mentioned, comparatively at 150 square feet. Now, you won't have that big, wide open space there with the window, but you will have a beautiful view of the ducks and the swans that go by. So people love this room category because it's comfortable, it still has enough space in there, it's a little bit more affordable, it's perfect if you're single and you want to be able to have a space for yourself, it's not as expensive. They do have the single supplement waiver, I believe is still going on with this one, so there's a limited time on that. You want to make sure you take advantage of that if you're going to be a single supplement. And these have great features. There's plenty of space in there. We have robes and slippers, your alarm clock, you have USB ports. You can decide what configuration that you want with your bedding. We have the vanity with the light up makeup mirror. We still have the marble vanity tops. Just a beautiful room here. Hair dryers in there, so you don't have to worry about lugging that kind of stuff along. You have a nightly turn down service. It's just a beautiful, beautiful room. If you're looking to be in the larger room category, these are 200 square feet, and our panorama suites are the category that we have the most. This is that one that was the 4 years in a row award-winning cabin, best cabins in river cruising. So these ones are configured where the bed faces out to the ever-changing view. So you have a floor-to-ceiling, wall-to-wall view here, and it opens up with a full 7-foot opening. So you have those blurred lines between inside and outside, and you're going to be able to have a really beautiful experience here. The furniture moves, so if you want to have a few people in your room and have some cocktails in there, you can do that. And the other thing that's really special about this room is behind the bed, we've angled the wall. And we did a really smart and unique thing here with angling that wall. We did that because you're really not going to utilize this space too much. You're not going to be hanging out over there. But you're going to be using the shower a little bit more often. So with angling that wall, it gives you more space in the shower, so you're not bumping your elbows, you have plenty of space to spread out, and you don't feel like you're in one of those like rocket kind of showers that's going to shoot you up to the moon. So it's a really beautiful, beautiful room. With the panorama suites, you have a beautiful coffee table. This will go to a lower area, or if you want to raise it up for higher for when you have a continental breakfast, you can do that. When you're looking at the competition, we have a full floor-to-ceiling wall-to-wall window where they have a smaller opening. So even when it's cold out and you would have maybe thought about using the balcony, you wouldn't have done that. With us, you're inside, it's a little bit rainy out that day, it's a little chilly. You can sit in your room and still have an unobstructed view. It's a really fantastic and smart thing. Then our last category, we only have a few of these. These are the Royal Suites. These are the largest. They're 300 square feet. Both areas there have the nice panorama windows, which open up to a full 7 feet. You have a sitting area that has a television. You also have a television over by the bed. And then you have a larger bath, which has a double sink vanity. So these are really big, beautiful. You can have a little dance party in the bathroom there if you wanted to. Other amenities that we have on board is we have a fitness center, so there's a treadmill in there, there's a bike, we have some weights in there, stretch bands and all. We also have the games and boards and cards and stuff that are all well stocked with the libraries as well. So what I want to do before we start getting into your actual itinerary that we're talking about, I just want to take you through a quick little visual tour here of a little 360-degree view of the ships and letting you see what each room category really feels like so you can better decide what's going to be a great fit for you. Okay, so with Avalon Waterways, our first room category we're going to show you is the Panorama Suites. And these are the Cruise Critic 4 years in a row best cabins in river cruising. And you can certainly see why. No obstructed views. You have plenty of seating in here. There's a desk for you to enjoy as well. The bed faces out to the view. So when you wake up in the morning, you can see a fantastic view. When you go to sleep at night, you can see a view as well. You can have your continental breakfast in your room here, complimentary. We have plenty of storage with your not a walk-in closet, but your large closets. You can put your suitcases under the bed. The wall behind the bed is angled, so you have more space. And off to the side is where your TV is. It's a flat screen, it's unobstructed views. And we have sound dampening insulation in the walls, so you're less likely to hear your neighbor. Inside the bath, you're going to feel like you're in a 4-star, 5-star resort. We have his and her color towels. I love that. What a great idea. You're never going to mix them up. The L'Occitane bath amenities, they're quite large. They're 4 ounces, so you can have never running out of them, but you can always ask for more. Marble sink vanity tops, the large shower, the makeup mirror that lights up, and plenty of storage for 2 people. Next, we're going to take you is to our deluxe staterooms. These ones are the lead-in room categories. Largest in the industry, 172 square feet. You can do either configuration with a king size or 2 twins. You have the view of the salons as you go out and about. A beautiful flat screen TV, complimentary water bottles in the room as well as when you go on tour, tons of storage and USB ports. Inside the bathroom, you still have the his and her colored towels, marble sink vanity top, plenty of space to spread out, the L'Occitane bath amenities, and you have tons of storage in there as well. All include hair dryers too. In the Royal Suite, this is the largest at 300 square feet. You have the sitting area as well as the bed area with 2 different TVs and plenty of space to spread out and stretch out. Inside the bathroom, you're going to find a double sink vanity inside the bath. And with that area there, you have, again, the his and her color towels. We do the bathrobes and slippers. You have a handheld as well as the rain shower in all of the showers, which is, I love that. It's a great feel. So here's your double sink vanity. Again, there's wonderful smelling L'Occitane bath amenities, makeup mirror, and just have a little dance party in there, like I said before. The back of the ship, this is the club lounge where you have your library, your games, there's a flat screen TV, all climate controlled with the ability for you to leave, go out and upstairs up onto the sky deck, or for your smokers, in the very back outside of it is the only area that we allow the smoking to happen on our non-smoking ships. But this is a great spot where people congregate, they can grab their coffee and tea in the machine that spews it out for you, and some snacks. This is the front of the ship, where you're going to find the panorama lounge. Beautiful area to congregate, to meet up before you go out on tours, to listen to the tour director talk about what's going to be happening for the rest of your trip. We have a pianist on board always. You can hear some live music being played. And we bring on local acts from the area, so you're going to have some wonderful entertainment that's out there for you. People love to congregate here. We do the happy hour every day for an hour. We have half-price drinks. Even when they're not half-price, it's pretty relatively inexpensive. If you happen to purchase a bottle of wine outside the ship and brought it on board, you can open it. We do have a $15 opening fee, but if you do it yourself with your own bottle opener, there's no charge for that. The panorama beach is the front of the ship. This is your indoor and outdoor seating for lunch and dinner. There's always also an early riser's breakfast up here, and this is where you're going to find the late night bites. So if you want something a little quicker instead of the formal dining room, this is a wonderful option for you. In the formal dining, you have some fantastic food options here. The bread is incredible. You'll have breakfast here. There's an omelet station, cheeses, I mean, everything you could want. You're going to be walking a lot, but you're going to be also eating a lot, so it's all going to balance itself out. And then last thing we show you is the sky deck. So this is where we do the Sky Bistro. We have a couple of times a week a wonderful lunch for you out there al fresco where you can enjoy the beautiful views. There's a walking track up here on the sky deck. We have a jacuzzi up here. There's some games. It's just a wonderful spot to read a book, hang out with friends, play a game, play some cards, just relax and enjoy. Hopefully you like that little 360-degree view of the ship. All right, so now let's talk about your trip. This is a fantastic, beautiful, wonderful itinerary. I'm really excited for you. Tulip time is pretty special. Holland is well known for their flowers, for the beauty, for the amounts of colors that are out there, and it's a wonderful spot for you to enjoy. Belgium, the chocolates, the beer, the history, the heritage, really a fantastic itinerary that's here set for you. We have a really great promotion for you too that will entice you in the beginning of this so you pay extra close attention. If you deposit by August 21st, we're going to give you $100 off per couple, $100 per person. So it's not $100 off per couple, excuse me, $100 off per person. So that's a really great opportunity for you if you book within the next 2 weeks. So let's dive into that itinerary. So you're going to leave on that overnight flight. Annalise is going to do transfers for you with the bus.
From this area to Newark. Yeah.
This area to Newark. So you're going to have that great night flight. You'll be able to relax, arrive, be fresh, Everybody's gonna be fall asleep immediately, right? It's going to be perfect. And you're gonna arrive in beautiful Amsterdam. We'll take you into the Highland area there. This is your time, your day to explore at your own. Typically, your hotel, you can't check in until about 3 o'clock. So what they can do is they can send the luggage right to the hotel, so you can go and explore and do anything that you want. There's so much to do with your leisure time. You can walk around, get lost, go over the bridges and the canals, watch all the people on their bikes hustling and bustling. You'll be amazed at how many people you see on bikes. The different parking lots with over 1,000 bikes in them, with people. You'll see 2 and 3 people on a bike. You'll see little kids, people doing their groceries, you name it, it'll be there. You can enjoy the local shops that are available, take in the views, the sights, the sounds, the smells, and of course look at all the different architecture and how amazing that it is. The canals are beautiful, and what a funny fact about this I learned when I was there are cars in that canal, yes, under the water. There's about 100,000 bikes a year, they say, fall into the canal or get driven into the canal. I think it has a lot to do with the coffee shops that are there. I don't know. This might be my thing. You might want to take a picture at the iconic I Am Amsterdam photo here. This is a great photo op. Perhaps you want to go in the evening and take a look at the red light district. Take a look only, not participate. Check out the coffee shops, have some coffee, or maybe indulge in something a little bit more crazy, or just to check it out. It's just a fascinating thing to see the history and to see the culture and to see how different it is from us. We travel to see things that are different, not to see the same things. You might also want to try to, in advance, book yourself some tickets to the Anne Frank House. You need to do that online, and Lisa can talk to you a little bit more about that. If not, you can always walk by it. You can see where it is. You see the museum from the outside. It's a fascinating area there, and great to have that culture and that experience. Your hotel is the Westport Jakarta Hotel. It's a superior first class hotel, so it's a beautiful hotel and a great location. So you're going to be within walking distance to a lot of the sights and sounds, be able to get around very easily. You have the breakfast included for every single morning when you're here at the hotel, and then of course when you're on the ship. So it'll be a nice, easy thing. You'll be saving money when you're looking at the big picture thing. Even though a river cruise has a bigger ticket number on it than you would say a deep sea cruise, an ocean cruise, just think about the value. Think of everything that's included. You have your Wi-Fi included. You have most of your tours included. You have your drinks included. All these things, cha-ching, can add up when you're looking at an ocean cruise versus river cruising. On day 2, we're going to make sure everybody's survived the night before, that everybody's had a good night's sleep, and that you've caught up to the time zone. You'll embark on what we have included for you is a classic sightseeing tour. And this is a fabulous thing. If you've never done it before, has anybody been to Amsterdam before? Oh, a couple of you. Have you done a canal cruise? It's fascinating, isn't it? It's beautiful. It's very calm, soothing, relaxing. You can see all the different architectures you go by. You'll have a great guide who will talk to you along the way, point out different points of view. They'll point out the different canals, what the names of the larger ones are. And it's just a really great way to be able to enjoy your stay with us. Hopefully along the way, you'll notice all the different types of houses. Now you'll notice all the houses are really tall. They're not super wide. Does anybody know why they're really tall and not wide? Not just space, but also because of money, taxes, yeah. So the wider your house was, the more money you had to pay in taxes. So they build up instead of down, or excuse me, sideways. So you'll see a lot of the houses really thin. What's fascinating too about Amsterdam is that it's built on stilts, kind of like Venice. There's these wood pilings that are driven into the ground. It's very marshy kind of ground. So instead of having a lot of land, they had to build down. So in the 1700s, all these canals were starting to be dug out by hand. It's pretty amazing when you think about all the work that was put into that over the years. And when you're looking at the different houses, all these gables are different. There's several different kinds. So as you're going along the way, hopefully you'll see the different ones. You'll see the stepped ones. You'll see the neck gables as well as the sprouts. So it leaves for a very beautiful facade along the buildings. because you're going during tulip season, there is an optional excursion that's going to be available for you to purchase. And this is taking you to the Kukenoff Gardens. Talk about beauty. Talk about just a picturesque, everywhere you want to look, everywhere you want to take a photo is just everywhere there. The way that they have them, has everybody done the flower show in Philadelphia? Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's like the flower show on crack. Like, it is unbelievable how many beautiful colors, the landscapes, the way that they put them together, and it's just fascinating. You're going to absolutely love this. So I hope you partake in doing this optional excursion, and they'll take you through, they'll let you know what the process is of how they come up with the different colors and what they do for the tulips. And then later that day is your embarkation day. So the first night you stayed in the hotel. When you go to check out, it'll be a nice seamless thing for you. You're going to leave your luggage outside of your room. The tour directors and people from the ship will come, they'll pick it up for you, and when you go to get onto the ship, it's going to be in your rooms for you. It's all going to be ready. So it's a really, really wonderful, seamless thing for you. Once you board the ship, you have an evening overnight cruise on the Armin. So in the evening, you're going to arrive. It's going to be a beautiful view. You'll be able to see the sights and sounds of Armin, and we'll take you out, and you have an optional. You have an included classic sightseeing tour here. So this is where we're starting to get into more of the history of the World War II with the Battle of Arnhem, and you have the museum that will take you through there. It's amazing how much of the artifacts and the history that they have here. You'll get to learn stories about all the different soldiers and their families, and be able to see all throughout the history here. Then after you are going through the museum, we're going to pop you back onto the ship. Well, the way we get you here is you're going to be motor coached down to join your ship, because your ship's going to be cruising along as you get to this museum. So you're going to hop onto the ship from the motor coach, and then you're going to enjoy lunch on board. And you're going to do a little cruise here. And then we do have some wonderful optional excursions that are available for you in the afternoon. So there's 3 different ones to choose from. So the classic, again, it's going to be your history and heritage. Your discovery is going to be more interactive with the carriage ride here, and your active is going to be a guided bike tour. So these are the 3 different options. So your active is going to join a bike tour to explore the riverbanks. So we'll take you along there if you like to see that, you want to be out in the fresh air. The discovery option, you're going to visit a windmill that is operated by a family that does fruit and flower farms, and then you'll enjoy a carriage ride after that. And then the classic option is going to be an excursion to sample the cream puffs and to be able to see the decadent chocolate and all the beautiful area there. And then this evening, we sail out. You'll be able to get on board, enjoy some entertainment, be able to relax with your friends, have some drinks, and have dinner on board. Day 4, it's all about Dutch history, modern spirit, fresh pie, and enjoying morning sailing to Maastricht. There's 2 different options for your tour here. You have the classic option, or you're going to be able to discover the vibrant university town. We have the lovely cathedrals here with the beautiful spires, old homes, buildings, real impressive cobblestone streets, time for shopping, be able to relax, maybe have a beer, have some different options available for you for some relaxation time. And the other option you have is a discovery option. And this is going to take you to a guided visit where you'll be able to see an old working mill. And with this working mill, it's still in operation. So it's kind of cool to see how they're still, to this day, using the mill, using it for their products. At the end of the visit, join an interactive museum and bake your own delicious Limburg pie. I get to taste it. Later, enjoy live entertainment on board, and you're going to overnight cruise to Namur. On day 5, it's all about ancient architecture and really charming and cute cafes. Here, you have, again, some wonderful classic sightseeing that's included for you. Guided tour of the town, where you're going to be able to see the fortress. I mean, look at this thing. Doesn't that look something out of like a picture book? You know, just you know, you're thinking it's a Disney character's castle or something like that, but you'll be able to explore the fortress and the Old Town Manure area and really enjoy that medieval culture and architecture. Free time is available for you. You can stroll the streets, look at the charming cafes, grab something to drink, something to eat, look at the bookshops, shop all you want, and in the evening, again, you're going to enjoy some live entertainment on board. And we head over, we're going to be overnight docking in Namur. So if you want to go out and enjoy the town in the evening, you can do it as well in the evening. Perhaps you want to partake in a little local beer and enjoy some time with your new friends. Day 6, on to Lineage, historic wonders and wonderful waffles. Who wants a Belgian waffle in Belgium, right? You got to, like one in Rome, right? You got to have that. Unbelievable. We have included a classic sightseeing here for you to enjoy the tour of the sights of the Fiery City. You can enjoy the ancient quarters area, so you'll see the spectacular alleys, the streets, and of course the waffles. The architecture all throughout is going to be incredible. The different poles, the different bridges here, the churches, some of the museums, the artisans, artwork all throughout. As you walk along, you're going to just be swept back in time. And of course the waffles. And you can't just have one, right? You got to try all different kinds. There's so many to choose from. It's like an artisan's delight. You know, they don't just like make a waffle. They've got to make a whole big picturesque view of it, and it's a party for your senses. And then we overnight evening cruise onto Antwerp. And day 7, you're going to be in Belgium here, be able to enjoy the Grand Gothic Cathedral. So you'll see some beautiful architecture here. What a fantastic town. The guided tour here is going to take you all through the central area. You'll go to the market, the Grote Market, and of course be able to see City Hall. Just such picturesque locations there. The square here is just where everybody gathers. It's there's so much history. This church here started being built in 1352. I mean, think about that. In the United States, we kind of don't understand, we don't grasp fully what a length of history is. Our history is what, 300 years old here, 200-300 years old, depends on the area you're in. 1532, or 1352, unbelievable. And on the first stages here of construction, it ended in 1521. It's not quite completed still, but fantastic. Throughout the wars, this area was invaded, and fortunately, they did miss the spire here. They did have to rebuild some of the church itself, but just absolutely beautiful location. And then in the evening, back on board the ship, you can enjoy a cocktail, enjoy some more entertainment, relax, and take in the evening while we go to overnight in Brussels. Day 8 in Brussels is all about ancient landmarks and new finds. Brussels is famous for this major square right here. You're going to be able to enjoy this. We take you on a beautiful walking tour here that's included with your stay with us. And the food is plenty in Brussels. It's all about the seafood. And you know what's the most popular seafood that they have in Brussels? It rhymes with Brussels. Mussels in Brussels. You gotta have some mussels in Brussels. We'll overnight dock in Brussels so you can take some really fantastic photos in the evening, walk around the town, see the sights, sounds, and smells. And then, unfortunately, it's time to depart the next day. So after your last evening in Brussels, your vacation will end with breakfast this morning, and then you will disembark and travel back to home, unfortunately. So keep in mind the $100 off per person, not per couple savings, if you book a deposit by August 21st. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for your time and attention, and hopefully we've enticed you to want to travel with us on Avalon Waterways.
Thank you.
We'll open up some questions. We'll hand it back over to Lisa.
How many people are on the ship?
That's a great question. So the maximum that we would have is 160 passengers. Most of the ships have over 190, so we have a lot more people on board. Yes.
Yeah, when you're off the ship, euros is the money, but will they accept US dollars?
Typically not. In Amsterdam, what's the best thing to do, what I typically tell people to do, and this is something that you can get more in detail about as this gets closer. Typically I tell people to exchange money in advance of their bank here, or when you get to the airport, you just take some money out of the ATM because you're gonna get the best exchange rate with that, or just use your credit card. Take very little money out because a lot of times you just need it for like grabbing a quick bottle of water or something to eat, but most places will take credit cards, but for something small, a small purchase, you would need to have some cash in.
Charges on board, will they just be put on your room?
Yes, they would be. When you check in, they'll take your credit card, so you never have to take it out. Put your passport, put your credit card. We have safes in the room, so you can put that in there, so everything's secure for you.
And what is the dress for dinner?
Great question. It's very casual on board with us with Avalon Waterways. We want you to be able to experience an elegant and beautiful experience, but we don't want it to be stuffy. So for gentlemen and ladies, we don't allow shorts at dinner. So just as long as you have a long pants, ladies can do capris or a dress or something like that. That's pretty much it. You can do a collared shirt or a plain t-shirt, something like that. You would be perfectly fine.
And what would the weather be that time of year?
The weather.
Iffy.
It's
I mean, just average.
yeah. So remind me the dates again. I'm sorry.
April 3rd.
Third.
April. So it could be a little chilly, but it depends. You can have a really nice, beautiful, warm stretch, or it could be a little bit more on the chilly side. It's kind of comparable to here in many ways.
Okay. And you mentioned excursions that were optional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do we book them, on board, or we book them?
So you'll work with Travel House, and they can help you with booking the excursions. Typically, you can book those optional excursions 90 days out, or you can do them on board. It's based on availability when you're on board. If you do it 90 days out, you can do it right online. There's something called My Avalon that they can walk you through, or they can help you to book, and they're pretty reasonably priced. Some things we will have, and some optionals you might not have that you're looking for. But again, Travel House can help you with some of the optionals that you want to do. And they're not listed right now on the website, but they should be out pretty shortly. Probably, I would say in September, they'll start showing like the optionals that are available.
Okay.
Yes.
The tipping is directly included.
So, did you get prepaid for 2 days?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so we, what happens is you'll get a voucher when you get your documentation. You'll get a little voucher that says that your gratuities are prepaid. So at the end of the cruise, they will hand out 2 envelopes. Typically, it's for the crew, and you'll put those vouchers right into the envelopes, and they'll drop them in a little box that's by the concierge front desk there. If you want to tip above and beyond that, you're more than welcome to. Typically, for when you're doing your excursions out with the local hosts, yeah, so sometimes those you can tip additional with that. Yes.
Lisa was saying it might be possible to do the Anne Frank house, but not sure.
Mhm.
But if you could you do that and the William Gardens?
You could, because the first day that you arrive, I don't know what time you guys are arriving.
It would have to be the first day.
It would have to be the first day. So they are timed entries to get into the Anne Frank house. So you'll want to talk with Travel House to make sure to see what time you arrive, give yourself plenty of time to get to the destination from the airport and get a timing where it's going to work out for you. Yeah.
But it would be possible to do that and the
Mhm.
Tulip Gardens?
Yes.
That's at night?
The Tulip Gardens are the next day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, your regular, like the classic and adventure, those people, all of those ahead of time also, so you know.
So when there's only one option of the tour, everybody on the ship, they'll split you up into different groups. So usually about 30 people maximum they'll do, and they'll do several different groups. And they'll give you what they call Whisper, which is a little headset that you'll pop into your ear, and you can listen to the local host talking to you about the destination. So you don't have to be right on top of them listening to it. It's really nice that you can be taking photos or not being super close to them and huddled around and listen to what they have to say. But when there's only one option for the tour, everybody's going to be doing that tour. Or you can choose not to go. It's your vacation. So if there's something that you're like, I kind of want to just adventure out on my own today, you can do that. You just need to make sure that you know what time you must be back on the ship. Otherwise, it's your responsibility to get yourself to the next port. So if you're ever on a tour with us and for some reason the tour gets delayed and the ship starts to sail, don't worry about it. We will always get you to the next port. I've never really seen that happen, but just to be aware that you're okay.
If there's multiple tours, you pick the tour you want to go on the day of the tour?
You would typically do that either the day that you get on the ship. You can choose the ones that you want to do. You could do it 90 days in advance, or you could potentially do it the day before if they have availability and they're able to make the change.
And we'll find that on the website,
Mhm.
different selections.
Yeah. And also, when you get on the ship that first day, the tour director's going to go over everything with you so you feel completely comfortable. Your literature will also have this information in there for you. Typically, Travel House will do like a document party with you and go over all of those details, like what to pack, what clothes to bring, how to deal with currencies, what type of like adapter you need for electricity, all those kinds of little questions that come up that get a little like scary if you're not 100% sure. That'll be something we can go over with you. Yes?
What's the voltage on the ship?
What's the voltage on the ship? It's going to be the European with the 2 prongs. So typically it's 110 voltage, but they have, you can have an adapter, converter, excuse me. So like for the shavers, they do have a separate one for shavers, but some ladies might have like curling irons or flat irons, and typically on those there's a little like thing that you can twist sometimes that says either 110 or 220, and sometimes you can do that, but with a shaver sometimes people bring adapters or they just use that one plug.
Some of them are automatic too. They detect the 220 good on them.
Yeah.
We'll need to bring an adapter with us, though.
You'll just need to bring, yeah, like to plug it in, yeah, from the US to the international. Mhm. Any other questions? Lisa, anything you want to mention?
No, I think you did it.
All
I
right.
do know availability is really limited. I don't know if I can get D's or E's anymore. And I don't know that I can get B's. I know I can get A's and C's. If you look them on your flyer. So if you want to go, the ship is really selling.
Yeah, Tulip Time, it's a specialty type cruise. It's something that we don't always have all year long because of the limits of how many days they are. But yeah, it's a wonderful cruise if you can hop on it. Make sure that you don't wait. Definitely take advantage of having $100 off per person. We have some bags up here too if you want to take some Globus bags or some extra pens, some different promotions that are going on, and also we have a giveaway today too. So I want to make sure that we have you participate in that. But if there's any other questions, and just know that we can take deposits today if you'd like.
Whenever anybody's happy.
So we have a giveaway here. I've got 2 different ones to show. One is a bag full of Avalon goodies, and then the other, since tulips aren't in season right now here in the United States, I did bring an orchid instead. Not tulips, but I tried.
She's gonna get in some rough and get yourself some paper.
Okay.
Or we can do it.
So has anyone traveled with the Globus family brands since January with us? Has anybody gone anywhere?